Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mega64 Podcast. You're here with the Mega64 boys on a hot Sunday night. And we have finally removed Shawn from the equation and replaced him with, nope, don't see that.
Wait a minute.
Wait, who's, hey, Shawn, you've been exiled, buddy.
How do you get back in?
Yeah, rules are rules.
I feel like I'm Wilson from Home Improvement.
Yeah, about as relevant.
That, buddy.
That was funny. I think.
Let's just boil it down. Padre season started, and we couldn't get him to shut up about that whole thing. Nipped it in the bud. You're looking at the all new crew.
Yeah,
way more efficient, way more gamer stuff. Way more. You're not going to hear about baseball. Even one more time.
Let's take a look at who is sitting in Shawn's seat tonight. There he is. That's right. You know him. It's Jirard The Completionist.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Doing well.
It's going well.
Happy to have you here today.
Happy to have you
Thank
here.
you for having me. I think the last time I officially saw you boys was Game Days 2019.
Oh my gosh.
That is a long time ago. That's so long.
Before everything just exploded.
Wow.
That was fun.
That was 4 years ago.
Almost.
I always think 2019 was like, oh yeah, that was like eight months ago.
I know.
I
continue to think that too. But I really enjoyed that. First of all, thank you for doing that again.
of
That
course.
was a lot of fun. I'm going to pat ourselves on the back because we had a really great eclectic mix of guests. You were there. Donkey was there. Leo was there. And then Neil Hamburger did comedy.
That was so. I had never heard of him before.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. Is I remember going into the back of the room because we were making sure everything was running while Neil Hamburger was doing a set, and I just saw you in the back of the room with this look on your face that was just like, what is happening? Is this guy real?
Comedic genius.
Wasn't he?
He was so funny.
I was surprised you hadn't heard of him.
Oh, I walked up and bought his CD right away.
Hell yeah.
nice.
Right when the show was over,
That's awesome.
I had to. It was so funny.
I would love to get him back sometime.
Yeah.
I feel like he is just like, I don't know, the future of comedy, which
Transcendent.
is, maybe a little overselling him, but I feel like he's just one of a kind.
Yeah,
His
I
whole
agree.
approach to comedy.
It's like, it's not like performative college artsy, but like he plays a character while he does stand up, and it's so good.
Yeah.
The idea of doing a show just to bomb, and that's the joke, is like, that's brave.
Yes.
It's so brave.
Yeah, but I don't even think he's bombing.
He's not. That's the best
He's
part.
killing.
He doesn't bomb.
He's excelling the entire time.
I love, he tells his first joke. I'm not going to repeat any of them. I would get canceled for saying his jokes, but the whole audience like gasps, like, "Ooh, what the fuck?" And then he just tells another one. They're like, "Oh, I can't." And then by the third or fourth joke, it's like he breaks everybody's brain.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
They're like,
he's this guy.
I don't even know what I'm witnessing here, and you can't help but laugh.
I'm desensitized to the edginess now.
I also
Yes.
one of my favorite parts of that too was, I think I might have brought this up before, but he when he came to the show, he was about to go on. He was like, "All right, hook up. This is my microphone, so go ahead and hook that up so I could use it." And it's like, "Oh, dude, we're good. We got 1 million mics up there. We don't even need that." And he's like, "No, you don't want me to use your mics." Like, really? And then once he started, I got it. He's going, I mean, he is like Fleming, just the complete thing. And he told me later. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I have to bring one for that reason." Yeah,
He might dip it into a cocktail. You never know.
Exactly. So he was very professional in that regard. But anyway, but it's great to see you again. We just did. I saw you. They weren't at PAX East, but I did a panel with you.
Yeah,
we did a video game collecting panel.
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
for limited run games.
Yeah.
I did the gambit of GDC into PAX.
Oh wow, back to back.
which was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that ever again.
We did that once, I think. We did that one time, and it was too much for us.
There was one year we did the videos for the award show at GDC, and literally we're watching them on the screen, going like, "Okay, we have to be at the airport in like 10 minutes." Like, okay, we got to and go. And it was we were all very tired.
Yeah, I did the red eye Thursday night into Friday morning, and then went straight to the convention center and worked my booth, and it was oh god, I was ready to die. But Doug and I from Limited Run Games had talked. We had a meeting at GDC. He was like, "Are you going to PAX?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I am too. You should be on my panel." And I was like, great. So
Yeah.
I said sure, and then I saw that you were on it, and it was good running into you and being on that panel.
It was funny. We had the same moment where we're. I think you said this too. It's like we're always at. I think you go to PAX pretty often, so
Yeah.
do we.
Yeah.
And it was like, we never get asked on panels like this. Like we
No.
never, like we're always around, like available to like I could talk on this, I could talk on that. They don't
What was
ask
this
us. I don't know who
panel
we
on?
pissed off. What?
What was the panel about?
It was about video game collecting.
About
specifically.
actually like archiving and collecting old games.
Collecting, preservation, like how the scenes changed,
sick.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's so relevant right now as that whole scene is been evolving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys go over how they're like everyone's getting stuff graded like a comic book now?
know
We
what
were
I know.
about to touch that,
Yeah.
but I think
It's
the Wada game stuff.
It's a slippery subject.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
you
yeah.
bring it up and someone's like, "Oh, your game is graded," and it becomes a whole. I don't grade my games personally, just because I think it's a
Interesting.
little.
I'm with you. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's a little. What are we doing?
I think we
Yeah.
should grade everything. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fruit in the
Socks,
supermarket. You know, like let's just crank up the price.
Put
on
them off
anything
for
we
a couple
can.
Gotta
grand.
agree.
Get them back in
put
6 months.
Put it in a plastic container that's too small.
Yes.
with no air in it, and just let it go bad.
You can never
and
play it
that's
again.
part of the art.
Yeah.
So, what does your video game collection look like?
Oh, it's not as crazy as everyone thinks. Because everyone's always like, "Well, you're the completionist. You have to have every game possible."
Your collection's complete.
Yeah. No, it's mostly like my favorite collection is Super Nintendo. That's my favorite console. So I have obviously like Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3,
Yeah.
Super Mario World, that kind of stuff. But most of my like best quality games are Super Nintendo. The rest are just fans wanting me to complete games. So they'll send me, "Hey, here's Billy Hatcher from my childhood on GameCube. Would you please
Yeah.
play it?" And so
Yeah, okay.
most of my collection is just from fans
Wow.
giving me games.
That's cool.
You ever like just throwing games away? Like, I got enough of this one. I'm tired.
No. If I have too many, I'll sell it and give the money to charity or something.
Oh,
just
that's
'cause-
nice.
Yeah, I feel like everyone, they someone cared about this game. I feel like I should too to a degree. If I don't want it, I have to repurpose it in a good way.
So, how many Super Nintendo games do you have? Do you know the exact number?
Probably less than 100. Not that
Okay.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's I think there's 800 Super Nintendo
Oh
games,
my God.
something like that.
Yeah.
Lots of like Madden type, like NFL hockey.
You got to get every Madden game.
Yeah, right.
Collect them
But I mean, like in terms of like the good ones, right? There's like probably 30 or 40 really solid Super Nintendo games that are like
Yeah.
must-haves.
What are your top 10 Super Nintendo games?
Oh man, I made a video about this, but I don't remember it. I'm gonna try my best. In no particular order.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Incredible.
No.
No.
I'm just kidding. I just
I'm ready to fight you. I'm
all
ready.
good.
Creator Clash is around the corner.
Yeah.
Secret of Mana. I love RPGs. Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Mario World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm on Final Fantasy 3. That's a must-have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mega Man X is a classic. That's one of my favorites. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest.
Love. It's hard though.
That one was too
It's
hard.
very
I'm
hard.
I'm out on that one.
The first one, I sped run that one before. I'm good at that one.
Yeah.
The second one, some of those levels, like what?
Yeah,
kid could
I
beat
couldn't.
this?
Yeah, I was always bad at game. Oh, I still am bad at game. Nothing has changed, but I couldn't beat that one.
But that's
it was fun.
it's a great game. It's
Yeah.
a great game.
Yeah. That's I think my favorite game of all time. I love
Really?
it.
Of all
Yeah,
time?
it's
Diddy
my
Kong?
absolute favorite. Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country 2?
It's really hard, but
Of
it's
all
real
time,
fun. Of
it's
all
never
time.
been topped.
It's my number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
cool.
I get a little bit of grief sometimes too because one of my favorite, top 5 favorite games is a Super Nintendo platformer too that no one ever picks is Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island is amazing.
That's like one of my all-time favorite games, and
That's
I-
in,
I'll
that's
tell
in
people-
my top 10 list
Yeah.
as well. Yoshi's
That's
Island.
all. That's great to hear because
Yeah.
I tell people that and they're like, "You can listen to that fucking baby." Like,
It's
I
me.
can't.
That's me saying that.
Yeah, Shawn
hates
griefs
it.
me all the
I
time.
started playing it again recently because they put it up on the Switch,
Yeah.
and I have it on mute. I just won't have the
Yeah,
sound. I
yeah.
can't deal.
But that's funny. No, it's funny that you mention all this with your collection because they being on that panel too. I felt I was on the same boat because they ahead of the panel they were like, "Hey, if you have any good pictures of your amazing collection, send it to us so we could show it during the panel." I'm just like, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I lucked out because my parents were my mom specifically was really into the Super Nintendo RPG, so I still have like the Chrono Trigger with the box and all that stuff, just because she was a pack rat and like loved those games, so
Yeah.
wanted to save them.
Yeah.
But that's not me like seeking out them out. I have a very small shelf of things.
I had
that
a
like.
Super Nintendo when I was a kid, and I had a personal collection of games, and I feel like none of them have gone on to be like remembered in a good light.
Yeah.
So when I think back of my favorite Super Nintendo games, I loved Peter Pan as a kid. I was obsessed with Peter Pan.
I don't know if I ever.
The Hook game?
The Hook game.
Yes. That one is incredibly hard.
Really?
Oh,
It
you're
is-
telling me.
It is stupid hard.
I played that game like day in and day out. And it'd be like, all right, level 3, here's where I die.
That's a Blockbuster game. That's a game that you get
Yes.
from Blockbuster
Yeah.
all the time
100%.
because you're pissed off. You want to beat it, and
I
you never
owned it.
can.
I had to buy it.
Yeah.
I remember one time the enemies in that game was like a beehive. There was like lots of beehives in the game. And
Yep.
my mom, for whatever reason, she was like, I want to play a video game. I was like, play the Hook game. And she was attacking everything left and right. She killed the beehive. And I didn't even know you could do that. So I'm like, Mom, you're actually good.
Sometimes you need someone unhinged from the rules. You know,
I
to
didn't know you could do
break
that.
through.
And then I played a lot of, I don't know why I had this when I was 8 years old, but Lethal Enforcers.
Okay.
Lethal Enforcers,
yeah.
okay.
You know,
That
you
was
had
on
the
Super
gun.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was a light gun game where you're going into a bank robbery trying to save the day by shooting everybody in there.
Yeah.
And so again, me as a kid, I was like, you're all bad guys. Pow, 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 pow.
Everyone dies.
But nobody brings up Lethal Enforcers anymore.
No
But,
one Super Scope works anymore.
I never
play
had
that
the
one.
Super Scope.
What were you playing on? Just a
Did it have its own gun?
It had its own.
Oh, it did?
It
Really?
came with the blue, like Magnum, like Dirty Harry style gun.
Was Lethal Enforcers maybe thinking of a different game? One of those like ESRB games that like launched the ESRB and that
It may have been.
Oh, I
kind of
can't-
like
I
Night
can't
Trap
remember.
where it's like we can't give kids a gun.
Yeah, I remember I rented Lethal Enforcers from Blockbuster, and then Blockbuster got rid of it because it was like, we can't rent out this gun game to kids.
Yeah.
So I loved it so much, I made
to
my
Duck
parents
Hunt.
buy it for me.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
then I kind of, as a kid, got obsessed with light gun games. So I had Time Crisis on
yeah.
PlayStation 1.
So good.
yeah.
Dude, loved it. And then
Yeah.
people are like, they don't even remember that you had that game. That it even existed, you know?
I think my favorite, not counting Bimani games, but Police Trainer is, I think, my hands down favorite arcade game.
Yeah, that was never on console.
No, but it was so realistic, and getting to play that like in a taco shop at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, this is awesome.
Do you guys remember? I think it was an arcade game. It was like L.A. Machine Guns or
Yeah.
something. Was that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought maybe I made
The
that
controller
up. but-
vibrated.
Yeah. That was
That
one.
was one
I
of those
always enjoyed.
Sega,
Yeah.
millions of Sega sims.
There was
they
one
put in
arcade
arcades.
game where it was a light gun game by Aerosmith. You may remember?
Yeah,
And you would
oh my
you would
gosh.
shoot CDs at the end
Yes,
of the side of your gun.
Revolution?
I keep wanting
Yeah,
to call
Revolution
Revolution
X.
X.
So,
yeah.
Revolution X.
I kept wanting to call it Weapon X, but that's something different.
That's Wolverine.
But yeah, Revolution X. Yeah, you would shoot the CDs, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Killing people with a machine gun that shot CDs. Yeah. That was the
Steven
revolution.
Tyler going, ow!
Yeah.
Every 10
Like,
seconds.
Did
Yeah.
Aerosmith even look at the game before they signed off to be in it?
I think they were just worried about the money more than anything.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just said, we'll sign and take the cash, please.
Anything you want.
I think you think you can defeat? Wait, Shawn. You think you can defeat? Wait, you think you can defeat me? Dream on. Ooh, that's a CD.
I'm glad that you shut me up for that.
Was it
Fuck
worth
you.
it?
Theme
It was-
song. Theme song.
What?
Theme.
All right. Well, Shawn interrupted us to go to theme song.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Having
Back-
a kind of a
this is why
productive
this is why we
conversation.
kicked you out of the house.
It's been a while, though.
This is why you have to stand outside.
I so nicely volunteered to be back here, and I feel like I've been made fun of for this. So you know what? Next time, Derek, you can be back here.
You ain't kicking me out of the house. That's not
I sit
happening.
here.
That's not
This is
happening.
my seat.
I like, when we have somebody in the windows, it reminds me of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're kind of like the king of
Would you like to be
Playland.
my neighbor?
You guys, I'm
Yeah.
the king.
The king of Playland. Was that the puppet's name? Who would come
something-
out of the window.
You're more like that witch puppet, Sean.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
Bavmorda or whatever her name was.
Yeah, Gruntilda or some shit.
Yeah, that was something like that.
Okay.
Anyways, Jirard, we're happy to have you here, and
Happy to be here.
You just had a video blow up,
I did.
Yeah.
which was you got every game from the eShop for Nintendo.
Yeah, for the Wii U and 3DS specifically, because those I think you officially can't buy games anymore. It's
Yeah, it's
completely
done.
gone.
Gone down.
Yeah.
How did this video come about? Where did the idea for this come from, and what was it like creating it?
Oh, dude. So the idea came from I'm like the one guy that loved the Wii U. I really love the Wii U.
You really are.
You're the
I'm
one.
the one guy.
Yeah.
I love my kids. That's like their like nostalgia game. Like, they talk about Wii Party U more than any other game. No one's played this game.
Yeah.
But the Wii Party U game, they had a mini game called Highway Rollers, and they will not. That's all they want to play is that game.
Seriously, I never heard anyone else talk about it
No.
except for you guys.
I
And
know.
you play it all the time.
The
you know.
Wii U was not bad. It wasn't.
No,
bad.
it wasn't.
What's your favorite Wii U game?
Oh man, my favorite Wii U game. It's probably Super Mario 3D World, but now it's on Switch, so it's
Yeah.
kinda like that's the issue, right? Is
Yeah.
What's
almost
the-
all the games
Stuff
got
gets
All right,
bored.
different question. What is
Yeah.
the most underrated Wii U game in your
Ooh,
opinion?
this one's gonna piss off a lot of people at home. Star Fox Zero.
Oh,
I loved that game.
Really?
Everyone hated it. I loved it. The controls were
Wow.
the biggest hump.
That-
but,
Yeah, yeah.
But once you figure it out that it's just Star Fox 64 just with weird controls, then
Yeah.
it just works.
Yeah, I had some fun with that. I didn't throw it out immediately, but I think I had a lot of fun with the Wii U. There were a lot of great games. I think my only issue was honestly the cumbersomeness of like, oh God, I got to turn it on. It's going to take 10 minutes to,
Yeah.
oh God, there's an update. Well, I'll come back tomorrow. You know, it just felt like it was always like bogged down. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I didn't want to turn it on.
The
but-
Wii U was essentially what walked so that the Switch could sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
you can see that. Holding it, you can just tell, oh, this is what they wanted the Switch to be originally, and they just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and you kind of knew that too with how they marketed the thing, right? Like the console was a hard drive on its side. You know?
Yeah.
Like, every Nintendo's always been about like the mystique. The GameCube has a
Yeah.
handle and it's small and cool,
Yeah.
and the Wii is like this futuristic thing that just fits with your furniture.
Tiny.
And then, the Wii U is just a hard drive on its side.
yeah, it
and
really
then you
was
got
kind
to
of odd.
dock that controller somewhere next to it. If I played everything with a controller when I
Yeah.
had my
Yeah.
Wii U going, so it was taking up the space of two consoles essentially.
Right.
It was pretty nice though. I gotta say, like when they put those HD remakes of the Zelda games on there, and
Yes.
man, you got you're playing it on your TV, but you got the whole inventory just touchscreen.
That was
Like,
the-
oh yeah, give me that. That was pretty nice. We didn't know how good we had it.
Gerard, do you think that we have a theory that it sold terribly because of the name?
Oh, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I mean, if they would have called it anything else, I think it would have. But people didn't get what that was like an expansion for the Wii.
Yeah.
They didn't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I that theory is also what I believe too. It's that plus, again, Nintendo's all about the aesthetic of it, right? Like look at
Yeah.
the Switch. The Switch has a very specific look and style
Yeah,
and tone.
yeah.
The Wii U is just a weird. It looks like an like the gamepad is what makes the Wii U the Wii U.
Yeah.
But you can only take it 10 feet away from the console.
Yeah.
And if the thing breaks, you can't go buy new ones. You have to go through
Yeah.
RMAing and Nintendo. And it's like, they call it the Wii U. Like even calling it the Wii 2.
Yeah,
or
Super
the
Wii.
Super Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Wii tells you, oh, this is a new product.
Yeah.
Totally.
But looking at it and you're like, oh, this is an add-on to the Wii.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Dude, I was depressed the first day. We got it day one. This was back when we got free stuff from Nintendo. So
Yeah.
I think we
Yep.
actually got it a little early.
This was the first thing that I got from Nintendo.
Yeah. Really? Yeah.
It was the first thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this was kind of an early thing for us too. And I remember we got the system, and where I was living at the time, I had the system hooked up right there, and it was like, oh, I want to keep playing Mario. I wonder if it will still. The bathroom is like 2 feet that way. Sorry, this is too much information. I'm like, I'm gonna go in there and see if it still works, and
all
it
did this.
immediately cut out. And I was like, this is all I looked forward to was
And you
right
know,
here, and it's gone.
they fucked themselves because when they came up with the Wavebird way back when, and you were on the
Yeah.
street and you still
Oh,
could
man.
control it, you just assumed, well, they've figured out this problem. But then now with this thing, it didn't work. Then it's like,
Yeah.
well, now we're going back in time.
You kind of expected the same magic to apply there. Because I do remember, we talk about this all the time, but I remember going over to a friend's house when that Wavebird came out. And that was like our whole night was, all right, you got Mario Sunshine? Yeah. Okay, I'm in the backyard. He's still jumping. Oh my God. Okay, I'm over at a friend's house. It's still going. Oh my. It was like that magic kind of like, how does this work? And yeah, Wii U just didn't have that.
So you love the Wii U.
Yeah.
I do love the Wii U. Yes, I love the Wii U, and I really love the 3DS. And honestly, my channel for the last I've been doing YouTube for 12 years, right? And you guys obviously a lot longer than me, but it sucks, right? The ecosystem of how to compete, and every day is a new challenge, a new thing. You're just like, why did this video pop off online but not on YouTube, or vice versa? And so my YouTube rep and people I've been talking to about how to kind of create content, everyone was saying, well, everyone's making Mr. Beast kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like,
The
that's
trends are so weird.
Yeah.
How, like, it changes so fast.
Yeah. And I sat there and it's like, if you're a young, aspiring content creator, because that's what everyone wants to be, right? An influencer, a content creator, right?
Yeah.
How the hell are you supposed to compete with Mr. Beast, who just has
Yeah,
a
you're
massive
not. You
budget?
can't.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. You're just okay. I'll just not make stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Or not make that stuff.
Right. And so I asked the team, like, hey, what's something cool that we can do that's kind of in the same vein as Mr. Beast, but has an actual genuine story and narrative to it. And so that's when the Nintendo Direct came out, and they were like, hey, we're shutting down the Wii U and 3DS services. And immediately I was like, oh, that's it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna buy every single Wii U and 3DS game and donate our consoles to the Video Game History Foundation so they can preserve it in the future.
That's so cool.
And so that was kind of the whole crux of it. And we came up with that idea, I want to say like December of 2021. So 2022, I was like, all right, we're going to make this video because sooner rather than later, functions from the Wii U and 3DS shop are just going to disappear. So after a couple of months, you can't use your credit card anymore. You have to use the gift cards. And after a couple of months
off of it.
Yeah. And you can't use the gift cards on the console itself. You have to merge your accounts and use the website. And
Oh my God.
so it slowly but surely became this project where they were like removing features to make it more difficult because they want people to just buy their games and move on. And then at the end of March of this year, March 27th, they said the whole thing's done. You have to spend all your money before it's too late. Otherwise, you can't. The shop is gone.
Yeah.
So from basically December of last year until August of last year, I was trying to find sponsors because I did not want
You
to
got to buy all these games.
Yeah, and I have a team like you guys do, and I did not want to make a video. It's like a Mr. Beast style video that just wastes someone's salary or equipment or gear or whatever it may be, right? And so my goal was to find a sponsor to pay for everything, and no one showed up. No one wanted to spend a dime. And so I, for months, was like telling my agents, like, this is the concept, this is the pitch, it's gonna pop off. And they kept saying, no one wants to pay that money for a chance for a video to do well. Yeah. So I said, screw it, just give me really bad mobile game or like Raid Shadow Legends, whatever, whoever is willing to pay for it, I'll just sponsor my own content that way. So a regular completionist episode that's brought to you by, Raid Shadow Legends or whoever, and then I'll take the budget there and save it. So I did 4 separate brand deals to pay for that video. Wow. And then once I had it, we broke into teams of 3 or 4 of us, and we rated every single Lowe's, Home Depot, Vaughn's, Ralph's,
to get the gift cards.
Yeah, and
awesome.
we if you were in the Torrance area, I apologize because you could not buy gift cards for months.
Who took all the gift cards from my Lowe's?
That was the hack though. That Lowe's and Home Depot do
no
not
one thinks
have
to go there.
No one thinks to go there, and no one cares how much you spend there. But at Walmart and GameStop, they're like, you can buy 3 and then you can get out.
Yeah.
They're weird like
They
that.
are.
about
Even at
that.
grocery stores, they're kind of iffy if you're buying too many gift cards. They start asking
Yeah, because I was
questions.
going to ask if they had asked if you were being scammed or something like that, because I feel like that happens more and more.
Yeah. So we definitely, we had to cut it out of the video, but there was a lot of me calling Bank of America and saying, hey, yes, I am buying these gift cards, and this is my credit card, and please don't lock us out. And I've already had this conversation 9 times. And so we finally got all the cards, and then we started, cataloging everything. It immediately ran into huge problems. Like the Wii U, the 3DS, and the Nintendo accounts can only hold $250 at any given moment. So we had $23,000 worth of gift cards that we could only redeem in like
Increments.
5s. Yeah. And so we'd have to spend 5 cards, spend all the money, drain it, and then 5 more cards, spend all the money, drain it. And then eventually we found out that Nintendo has a soft cap of how much you can spend in a day.
No.
For one account.
For one account.
Oh,
So we would hit, it's between $1,500 to $2,000. And so they lock your account and you can't spend any more, and you have to wait like 48 to 72 hours to get your account back.
This is frustrating me, and I wasn't
So
there.
already it's like, okay, I can't, I have to be cognitive of that. And mind you, this is in August. So from August of last year until March of this year, I was looking at the timeline going, oh, this is gonna be close because
There's so many man hours you have to put into this project.
yeah, someone has to sit there and download the game, log it, write down the gigabytes and how much it cost, and then download it if the game was on sale, all that stuff. And as we got further and further into it, we ran into more problems. Like, I didn't know this, but most fans do. The Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U have an icon limit in the console.
No.
So you can't have, like, the Wii U has, I think it's like 866 games, something like that. I've ruined the number at this point because I've talked about it so much. But the Wii U can only hold 300 games on it at a time.
Right.
No.
So if you wanted to own every game, you needed to have hard drives to back them up. It's not a data issue. It's hard-coded icons.
Yeah,
but
just can't have that many.
But the console can have folders that have dozens of spaces in it.
Yeah.
So it actually could theoretically hold it. Nintendo just didn't hard code it that way.
Right.
And it was the same for the 3DS.
Oh my god.
So we had to buy 3 hard drives for the Wii U and I think 5 SD cards for the 3DS to hold every game possible.
Damn.
And so that was like, we hit a cap, change out the card or hard drive, rebuild the 3DS because you have to unscrew the bottom to put the thing in, and then continue.
So how close did it come to the closure of the store? Like,
The week before the video.
The week before.
Came down to the wire.
Are you going
Yeah.
alphabetical and you're like, oh my God, we're in Wise?
We went in order of release.
Oh, okay.
So like the last games we downloaded were like
The most recent.
the first ones were the most recent.
Oh,
So the
okay.
last ones were like
Oh, shit.
Mario 3D World, New Mario Bros. U,
Yeah,
Zombie U,
Zombie U.
yeah,
launch
freaking
title.
My launch title. Right
Volcar
there.
the Viking, because that was like one of the only indie games on the Wii U when it launched. So we that's how we knew we were getting kind of closer and closer.
Save
but
the best for last.
But the crazy thing is that as we were doing it, games were being removed from the store because
Yeah.
publishers weren't renewing their contracts
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the shop was closing. And also there were some developers who were purposely releasing games on the store knowing people would buy them and in a panic buy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you
they
would
put it back up kind of thing.
or like a brand new game.
That
like
is-
in October, a new game showed up on the shop, and I was like, "What the hell? Like a new game,
a new Wii U game?
a new Wii U game, and a new 3DS game appeared like 5 months before the shop closed."
Oh,
And
wow.
I had to buy it because
course.
that's the way that it was. But then as I'm going through my list, this game's no longer available. I didn't buy it fast enough because I was going in order of
So you
my
missed a
spreadsheets.
couple.
I missed a couple.
Yeah. Were there any like that really stung that you meant like, fuck, I can't believe I didn't get that?
Not really, because that's the thing, right? A lot of people online like dunked on me a lot about this video because they were like, "Oh, you're just showing off your YouTube money," which is not true. You are doing this for the sake of preservation, but everyone out there has already downloaded and backed up these games on ROM sites, so not everything is available for free already. But the thing about making this video was we had worked closely with the Video Game History Foundation with Frank and Kelsey, and they both said, look, preservation is about redundancy. You cannot have enough, right? Physical hardware that has these things backed up. And no one has that. All of it's just digital ROMs backed up online. If you have a
Right.
Wii U or 3DS emulator, you can download the whole library. But imagine you're not a kid or a young adult who has access to these websites, who knows how to mod a 3DS despite how easy it is.
Sure.
Like no one can really do that stuff. So our perspective was, if we have these physicals, that gives the Video Game History Foundation a legal battle that they can go to Congress and change to make it so that people can actually digitally check out these games like a library.
Yeah.
So they now have our physical backups for the rest of time, provided that it doesn't crap out. But it is tied to my account, so I can re-download any of these games whenever I want,
Right.
provided that Nintendo doesn't shut down their services, which it might happen, considering that's what started this whole thing to begin with.
That's the inevitability.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But also too, I mean, just to go back to like everyone mad you're showing your YouTube money. Even if you were, it's for you're doing it for their entertainment. It's not like you're doing donuts in a Tesla or something.
Right.
Like, this is my new video.
We did
it's
that
a good
video
cause,
where
I think.
we destroyed the PS5, and people were so fucking mad at us. But it's like you were never going to play that PS5 anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you got enjoyment out of it and you weren't going to before. So this is fine.
Also, we did donate one PS5
We
for
gave
every
one
one
away.
we destroyed. which-
Yeah.
Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And, just speaking of the nature of being an entertainer, I've really realized that sometimes just hating on something is the enjoyment that fans get.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
of
they
course.
only enjoy stuff through the lens of complaining about it. And I truly, sometimes I read the comments and I don't even get mad. I was like, that's so mean, but I guess you're just entertaining yourself
Yeah,
at this
that's
point.
weird,
Like some people
part of
just
your
love
enjoyment.
to hate what you're doing no matter what.
They just want to see the world burn the way that they want to see it burn.
They do. So, do you have your next Mr. Beast style video planned?
God no. This feels like a one-off thing, but the video did so stupid well that it showed up on like every gaming news outlet. And that was the funniest part about the whole thing was like I've been around for 12 years. You guys have been around. You guys know like when someone makes a video about Mega64 or a post, for them to be like some random guys dress up in Tetris outfit outside of a Costco and that's the clickbait, right? But in actuality, you guys are seasoned veterans who've made dozens of videos for millions of folks to enjoy. So when they make posts that are like random fan bought all this stuff or like some guy, some sicko, like it's like forget all my accolades. I hosted G4, for 2 years, like over 100 episodes of X-Play.
Yeah.
I made my own TV show at the network. I was an executive there. I'm been on YouTube and Twitch for years, won a bunch of awards and cool things, and they're still random guy, random Nintendo
this
fan.
Fucking nerd spends lots of money. Yeah.
The world's like trying to hold you down.
Yeah, right? What the fuck?
I seriously have never felt more seen than right now. Like I've never been able to connect with someone like this. I remember even back in the day, we had been doing it maybe 7 years at this point. This is a long time ago, but I remember way back in the day, we did a lot of videos for like Ubisoft. Like there was a stretch there where they kept going to us for like their sponsored videos or their whatever promotions. And I remember there was one we did videos for the new Ghost Recon, and they were like, hey, if you can like film these and like do them in HD, because at the time that was still like not as common. If you could do that, they'll put them on the front of Xbox Live. And it was like, dude, this is an awesome gig. Like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we made these videos, worked really hard on them, had to go through a whole Microsoft like certification process just to get it onto the system. And then it's like, all right, today it's dropping. And then it's up on there. Oh, check out what these weird fans of Ghost Recon made to show love for their game. And it was like, what the?
It's like you came to us.
I was thinking it was going to be like Mega64 logo on the front page. It was like, check out what these idiots did because they love Ghost Recon so much. It's like, dude, what? I am petty like that all the time. So anyway, hearing that, I can identify with that. You work hard. You want to be seen like, oh, they've been doing it a long time.
It's all driven by algorithms. Like just use Google. It's not just like some random guys made a Ghost Recon video. It's like freaking your guys' catalog is through the roof.
But I find but then it fits the narrative better. And it gets, I think it's just something. I think
marketing thing.
Yeah, and it
needs to be generic.
It's weird though. Like we kind of put value on being crazy, almost like look what this weird guy did. It's almost like that's a sexier click or something. I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you what it is. It's like when the Black Eyed Peas had a new hit every like 15 days back in like 2008. It's like another fucking Black Eyed Peas song. And it's not that the song is bad. It's just I'm just tired of seeing these guys be so good at what they do.
Yeah.
It just breeds this resentment of like, okay, enough. Mega64, stop making funny videos.
Knock them down a peg.
But if you tell them like, it's just a bunch of random idiots. It's like, oh, well, I'll check these guys out.
I'll see an idiot.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
So
an idiot.
you kind of mentioned it already. Your accolades. You were at G4.
I was.
But then, Dark Cloud came over.
Exploded.
Well, I actually just wanted to say, I honestly genuinely feel terrible that nobody kind of went into the curse with you, because we did when they rejected our series pitch in the earliest incarnation of G4, we did put a hex on the network that they would that they would suffer to death for every one time they rejected us. I just feel bad no one told you.
I wish Mercutio and Romeo and Juliet, a curse on the house of G4.
That's what we said when we left.
If I had known that, I wouldn't have signed up.
That's what I would have
respected the
when
curse.
when I saw you on the website. I was like, oh, no one said anything.
We pitched Mega64 to G4 back in the day, and they rejected us because we were too niche. Our niche was video games.
Yeah.
So.
but it was that was the classic thing that we remembered was it was like you know that's cool, you kind of recreated these games, but you're going to run out of games. Oh, okay. So it's like they really emphasize like the lifespan of this is just not like it's not going to last because you're going to run out.
Yeah, you know, games are going to stop being released.
And then,
what are you going to do then?
Games are going to start being racist.
Yeah.
Everyone stops playing.
Exactly. Well, who would have predicted that?
Yeah.
How did you get involved with G4 to begin with?
Oh man. So my agent knew the casting director at G4, and I just signed up with my new agency during the pandemic, and I don't know. I've always been a performer my whole life, just hosting stuff, acting, writing, directing, and YouTube was kind of always my outlet. And then it became my business, and I forgot that I loved performing. So a lot of it just kind of came down to, well, I'll just keep doing this YouTube thing because that's what I love. And then when I signed with my new agency, I was like, hey, if there are opportunities to go out and perform, host stuff, write stuff, direct stuff, I would love to do that. And then a couple of weeks later, that trailer dropped of like G-Force coming back. We never stopped playing and all that stuff. And my agent reached out and said, hey, I know the casting director. Do you want me to submit you as a potential host? And I said, I absolutely would love to, because The Completionist was inspired by X-Play. It was very much the structure and format was early on in the show was based around, you know, Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler doing the show. And so I was like, yeah, I could host X-Play, no problem. That's my jam. So he submitted my resume, and I heard nothing for like 3 or 4 months. And then the next thing I know, they were calling me nonstop. Hey, we'd love for you to audition. Come on in. It's like, great, no problem. So I had an interview, and the interview with a random casting director who had nothing to do with G4.
Oh, wasn't in on
like
what kind of programming it was going to be?
Not at all. Like a third party. Like I was asking him questions about what games he played, and he was like, I couldn't tell you.
He's like, I'm not a nerd, bro. I don't, this is just a job.
Yeah, it was very much like a dude who was contracted from someone, right?
I'm here to see if you can speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Can you read?
Yeah.
Are you personable? So I had that first interview, and then a couple weeks later, I had a second interview with all the showrunners of Attack of the Show and X-Play, and that went super well. And then from there, it became, hey, we're gonna ask you to write a mockumentary review and film it and do it and send us a reel. And eventually, after like 8 or 9 months, I had like looked back at it. I had 9 separate auditions to be a part of X-Play.
Damn.
And so I sat there and was like, I don't know if they think I have value for this. I had to take a step back and go, okay, I'm going to like let them know I'm very interested, but this is a weird time. And so at the end of 2021, they asked for me to do a video with Adam Sessler about the most anticipated games for 2022.
Okay.
2020 to 2021. So I said, yeah, sure. So I did the video with Adam. He loved working with me. The crew loved working with me. I thought I was a shoo-in. It went super well. A couple weeks later, they announced that Austin Creed is joining the team. And I know Creed very well from all this wrestling stuff. And then a couple months later, they announced Golden Boy and Avali. And I kind of realized, I didn't make the cut. I didn't make the bar.
They're not saying my name.
Say all these wrestlers' names.
Yeah. So at that moment, I was like really depressed and bummed because I kind of put my bet on that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm okay with it. I had like a really serious health problem that I had to take care of with my stomach. And so I got some pretty invasive surgery, and I got out of the surgery, and my brother and my girlfriend are looking over at me, and I'm just waking up. My brother goes, hey, G4 called. They want you to join the team.
Whoa, what timing?
Yeah, and
weird.
I sat
You
there.
thought you were in the afterlife.
Yeah, I sat there. I couldn't see anything, and I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, they made an offer. They want you to join. I turned to the doctor and I was like, could you up the morphine? Because this is not real. I'm going back to sleep. And so I went back to bed, woke up, and they made an offer. And so it took like 3 or 4 months. I signed. And when I showed up in the beach house phase, as we called it, it was basically like our early improv playground for us
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
shows and to kind of, vibe chemistry wise. And I realized pretty quickly that at the time I was the only one destined for X Play. So all the other hosts and talent they kind of acquired were reserved for Attack of the Show and esports and like, Austin Show and Will Neff, they're streamers, so they were going to get their own shows.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it was just me and Adam Sessler, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And I immediately was like, hey, I really respect Adam Sessler. But as the fat white guy that people are going to see on the couch, I think it'd be great if we had a woman to join us or at least another person to kind of vibe with. And the producing team was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's go ask the higher ups and figure that all out. And for like 2 or 3 months, we auditioned several different types of content creators to join X Play. And we never pulled the trigger on any of them. And then the next thing you know, we're at launch and it's just me and Adam. And then eventually one day, Corey, the Black Hokage, shows up and we were like, who are you? And he goes, oh yeah, I'm here to be on X Play. And we go, we've never heard of you before. Where did you show up? His contract had been negotiated outside of all of this. And so he got signed on.
Unbeknownst to you and Adam.
And yeah, we had no clue. And so he shows
geez.
up and we're a month away from launch. And I'm like, hey, I think we still need, a female voice or like people are going to see us and go, where's Morgan Webb? We're never going to avoid that kind of vibe.
Right.
So who's our Morgan Webb or who is a female that can come in the room with us and like bring a different perspective. And so a week or two before launch, Frosk volunteered and she joined the team and that was it. And we were off to the races and it was really rough because we didn't have time to like chem test. We didn't have time to shoot stuff.
Thrown in.
It was just like, we're on set now.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, there's like, $125,000 worth of gear in the room looking at us, beaming on us with little to no preparation. And the X Play team, unfortunately, had a much bigger task than the Attack of the Show team. The Attack of the Show team had to make one like 2 to 4 hour show a week.
Yeah.
We had to make a TV vertical, a online YouTube vertical, a social media vertical. And so our workload was almost triple that of Attack of the Shows.
Right.
Damn, I didn't realize.
We had less producers than Attack of the Show. We had less hosts than Attack of the Show. And we were always fighting with production on a larger scale. The writing team and the producing team at X Play and all of G4 were some of the best folks I've ever worked with. They were really smart, really funny, really talented. But we just had so many things working against us that it was a rough time just kind of going through that whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, but eventually things like got better, right? And you figured it out, or did it? Or was it always a struggle?
It sounds like a too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing, dealing with your production or your
Well,
what's it
yeah,
called?
I was gonna say, I will say that Johnny's running the podcast tonight. Johnny and I were watching the new G4. We were like ground floor on that. Like we really enjoyed. I thought the chemistry with everyone was really like, I will be honest, like hot and cold on the old G4 sometimes because there were certain things I loved.
Yeah.
And then other things I was just kind of like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? It was just, it seemed so personality driven and I thought it was really fun to watch, but it was really funny because there were certain, I would every now and then tune into Attack of the Show. And there were times where I think you literally would say like, yeah, I didn't think I'd be on this show today. And they just pulled me from another set and I wasn't planning to be here. And like, there was just this energy of like, yeah, I'm like pretty tired. Like what am I? I was just on another thing. I don't know what we're doing now kind of thing. And so I was always like, he's probably having to go through a lot to get to juggle everything. So I was just curious how that,
It's funny. We do like YouTube productions and there's this assumption like, well, someday when we get to like a big studio, they're going to have it all figured out. It's going to run so smooth.
Yeah.
And then you work with these, big studios, big production companies. And you're like, this is just as fucked up as it is like at our fucking YouTube studio.
If not more.
Yeah, you start to realize that no one actually knows what they're doing. They just kind of throw money at it and go, oh, that's someone else's problem.
Yeah.
There was, I remember there was like a mechanic we were trying to create where we wanted to eliminate some of the positions because they were overpaying to have folks in the production room. And so one of the executives were like, hey, what if we designed like this OBS type thing where it's automatic or it's based off of certain, camera angles changing, and there's a Steam Deck kind of thing. And someone was like, and someone needs to operate that. So we're going to pay a bunch of money to have one person to press a button. And it's like, no. The point was to not have to hire someone.
Automate it.
Yeah, automate it. And that was kind of the, everyone online loved to make fun of G4, this new iteration, because, we went woke, and we were, because of, the stuff with Frost and kind of all of the culture around what we were trying to build.
Yeah.
But that didn't really affect any of why it happened. What happened was that people, long before we showed up, made financial decisions to spend all this money with no roadmap of understanding how we're going to recoup the costs, how we're going to build the network. And there was a mentality that kind of splintered down the middle, and it was the folks who were like, G4 is a TV network, and the other folks who were like, G4 is a digital network that does YouTube and Twitch.
Yes.
And those two things, while we made them successfully to equate and to both work, people weren't buying it. It just wasn't clicking.
Yeah.
And the money that was costing to do everything was just every day money was being spent all the time.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I mean, I had no insight on any of this stuff, obviously, at the time, but I remember just seeing when you guys would do segments just kind of around the studio going, holy shit, that studio. I was like, this is not cheap. This is not a cheap production.
It was, to run things, just to have the lights on was so expensive.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is big soundstage in Los Angeles?
Yeah, we were in the same building that TMZ was in before the pandemic lockdown.
Okay.
So when TMZ moved out, we kind of were like, hey, we're going to take that. And so for some whatever reason, there was like a 10-year lease that was locked into place. And from there, it was just the production budget just kept ballooning and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we reached a point of no return where no matter how much money we were actually making, there was no way we could pay the studio back for its costs.
Oh, man.
So was there a turning point for you or did you always feel like maybe there was an axe dangling above your head? Did you ever feel secure there, or?
I always felt secure there. Okay. Because the higher ups had reiterated several times, hey, there's a 5 to 10 year plan here. Whether it succeeds or not, we have enough budget and money and a strategy to survive for 5 to 10 years. And between all the gear we had spent and the studio space, it was very evident that was the plan. And so we never once felt like the axe was going to come down and get rid of us. But the thing that did kind of indicate things weren't working was that we had a lot of higher level executives who were leaving the studio early on. So people were...
You see those emails every morning. So-and-so is
I am resigning. I moved on to a different company or whatever it is.
Sign.
And then they're gone.
I just saw the latest episode of X Play. I'm fucking out of here.
I mean, that's what the public would think, right? But we started seeing those kind of cogs turn in like February of last year, where major players who were responsible for the reboot were like, hey, I'm leaving to other pastures. And that's kind of where I got roped into being executive. So in the final hours of G4, I was an executive that worked really closely with the SEO and marketing team to kind of try and turn things around.
Yeah.
And we were actually doing pretty well. We had proof in the pudding to go, hey, like, it's not our content, it's how we market it, it's how we present it, and how we compete in the space.
Yeah.
And once I started kind of showcasing that, our teams were feeling really excited about what we were working on because, I think there was this kind of dark cloud that everyone hated us just because we weren't the old G4.
Sure, yeah.
And, because we're a different flavor and different folks. And
Nostalgia's a bitch.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
For the fan, nostalgia is great, but as a creator, it's like, well, I can't compete with your memories.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, that can be a weird line to
I'm
walk.
sure you guys all the time are like, hey, one of your first videos that you watched, that one's my favorite.
Yeah.
You've been around for how long? And that Resident Evil 4 one's your favorite?
Yeah,
Like,
there is something I brought it up here before. I call Weird Al syndrome, because Weird Al has talked about this. He's like, you meet people, he's like their favorite. I always, what's your favorite Weird Al album? It's always the one when they were 12. It's always like right, what came out at that age? That's the best Weird Al
not the
album.
one that just came out last week. That's phenomenal.
It can't be. It can't be.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
sometimes,
That does happen sometimes.
People like stopped watching for whatever reason 10 years ago. I stopped watching these guys in 2015, and then they check back in 2023, and they're angry that we've gone on without them.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
well, I stopped watching 10 years ago. Why are they still doing this?
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
You left, dude.
Yeah,
we
we're
wanted to do.
This is
we're
our
having
life.
fun.
Yeah.
So when you became executive, what was the biggest change that you wanted to make?
Oh man, the biggest change I wanted to make was one, I wanted to change morale, because morale was always just slowly getting worse.
As people are leaving. And
People are leaving,
yeah.
people weren't being replaced. It
Oh,
was
so
like
it's just-
responsibilities
that's
just were
tough.
kind of
More
trickling
workload
down.
on less shoulders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that sucks.
And more apparent problems of like, hey, this one person who's running this department isn't doing a very good job. And because they're not present or they're like avoiding their responsibilities, things are falling to the wayside. And so my whole thing was, and I said this before, I was kind of like a special rat that would like look around and go like, who's not doing their jobs? Because no one knew I was an exexecutive until the very end.
Oh, how funny.
I didn't tell anyone.
Dude,
I-
undercover boss.
Yeah.
This is
There
like
it is.
Among Us in real
Yeah,
life. Fuck.
Yeah, I
Sus.
didn't tell anyone because I knew that if I told people, I told like core members, people that I trusted, and I knew who would like be stoked that I had this position, because truth be told, I had no power. I couldn't fire anyone. I couldn't hire anyone. I didn't get a nice fancy office. I didn't get, an assistant or anything. My official title was Executive Director of Content Strategy, which is a fancy way of saying I did the thumbnails and the titles and the tags for YouTube. And I would help position ourselves to like, hey, the new Mario game's coming out, so let's try and get Shigeru Miyamoto in the studio to SEO off of that kind of stuff.
Every major company has an executive doing the thumbnails, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Exactly.
Guy in a suit who's like, okay, I got to get a face in this
Yeah,
somehow.
That's how Steve Jobs
How do
got
I
where he
do
did.
the shock Home Alone thing 300 times without making it shitty? So yeah, a lot of my responsibility was that, but the other side of it was just really looking at how everything was made and just seeing where the problems arose. And it was never, again, it was not the production team who made X-Play and Attack. It was never the writers or producers. It wasn't even the higher ups. There was this like middle ground of the production facility guys who ran the entire building, and they were the ones that held the keys for odd number of things that just
Interesting,
became
yeah.
the cog that never allowed us to do anything. And so
Because you can't walk over, like we can walk over, set up
Take
a tripod.
that.
Johnny comes down and focuses a lens. You got to like email
hey,
a union rep.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
This lens is got a smudge. Can I please? No, don't touch that lens.
Correct.
Oh, fuck.
Everything was and if we wanted to do anything in like our tech room, we were not certified technicians to run the tech room. We had to hire a third-party person to come in to operate it, despite the fact that I know how to use OBS, right?
Yeah.
That kind of those problems really were a blocker for us to do anything.
Was there any
I
one
imagine.
time or instance where it really like set this home? Like, wow, this is obstructionist here.
Yes. So that's actually how I got promoted. So you guys know Yacht Club Games. They made Shovel Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
I'm really close to those guys. I've been friends with them for a long time, and they just released a Kickstarter last year for their new game called Mina the Hollower.
Yeah,
It's like a Game Boy Advance, Castlevania, Bloodborne kind of game. And I didn't know about this project for many years. I got to play the demo and kind of consult on it. And they came to me at the top of 2022 and they said, hey, we want the grand stage for this thing. We want everyone to see what Mina the Hollower is. And we're going to do a Kickstarter. And they had a deal kind of fall through. And they said, hey, Jirard, do you want to produce this thing? And I said, I would love to. I know exactly the vibe and tone they want. They want it to be a little Nintendo Direct-ish, a little like, and now we're going to play the game to show you what the product is. And so my team Completionist, we came in as the stopgap. We came in and said, hey, let us design the whole thing. We're going to make the whole thing for you. You guys have final approval. and then we'll go to G4 and we'll show them what this is. And we'll say, here's what we're going to do. It's a done deal. All you have to do is say yes and let us shoot in the studio. So we did all the heavy lifting. Everything was done. And I went to G4 to my boss and I said, we're going to do this. And my boss was like, thank God, this is what G4 can be, a great place for indie games to do their huge debuts.
Right.
We have a TV network. We have like a professional way to get the word out, and people will talk about us. It'll give us this really cool vibe and tone. And I was like, great, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to produce the whole thing. I just need permission. And my boss was like, you have full permission. And if anyone gets in your way, let me know. I said, phenomenal. So we shoot the whole thing in studio. My team edits it and produces it. And the whole thing was that we wanted to eliminate any and all error that we could, because it's a demo for a game no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
And what if the demo breaks? What if it goes wrong? So it was like an hour showcase about the game, and the first half hour we pre-taped just to make sure there was no hiccups.
Sure. I mean, that's what a Nintendo Direct does now.
Right? It's all
No one's
pre-taped.
doing the E3 live stuff anymore. It's all pre-taped.
Yeah, because there's too many like memes and
Totally.
messed up moments that take
Exactly.
place.
Exactly.
So I wanted to make it feel like it was live when it actually wasn't.
Sure.
And so the last half was live, but the gameplay wasn't important. It was about answering questions. Aaron from Game Grumps joined us to play the game.
cool.
And so, we were like, people were raised. It was like a telethon because there was a Kickstarter. So you saw the numbers go
nice.
up. And
That's really cool.
Yeah, everyone felt really connected to it. It was going super well. But to make that pre-tape, the first half, I got in a ton of trouble because I had filled out the right paperwork. I had all the right gear. I had everything kind of figured out. And one of the heads of the studio who was running the production stuff came in, and in the middle of us shooting was like, stop. What are you all doing? And I had to go, we're producing this thing that's happening next week. And he goes, it's not on my ledger, so you can't shoot here. And I go,
All right.
what is on your ledger? And he goes, X Play is supposed to shoot here for the next 4 hours. And I go, great. Hi, I'm X Play. I have that slot. I've been guaranteed the time to shoot this thing. And he goes, well, you're not on my ledger, so you can't shoot. And I said, do not make me go all the way to the top to show you that I've got the proof to make this thing. And the guy got really agitated and was like, you don't have any power here. You can't do this. I'm the guy in charge. And I said, with all due respect, I kind of have the golden ticket here.
Yeah.
So if you want me to stop, I'll stop, but it's not going to go well.
I'll be back.
And he goes, production stopped. And I go, great. Hey, everyone in the room, you don't have a job for the day, so you don't get paid. Please go home. And everyone in the room was like, what do you mean we don't have a job? And I said, well,
Well, talk to
this guy because he said that you can't work today. And immediately he's like, that's not what I said. I said, that's exactly what you said. And everyone, and I never do aggressive shit like this.
love it.
This is not my vibe.
No, but when you're put up against a wall,
I had to pull out my proverbial penis and go like, fuck you. Like, can we swear? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, say whatever you want.
You can cut loose.
I had to say, fuck you.
pull
Like,
out just enough to win.
Yeah. And so I called my boss's boss, put him on speaker. And if he got the call, he was like, what the hell's happening? And so I'm like, hey, tell him that I have the space. And he's like, Jirard, stop wasting my time. Make the thing. And I was like, thank you. Click. He walked out of the room, really embarrassed.
Yeah.
Never recovered from that. He and I were never on good terms.
Wonder why.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
But then
whiz.
the meaning of the whole event came out. It did incredible numbers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember that was a really impressive showcase of that. And I was actually like surprised I didn't do that more. Like that I thought that went so well. That was because it looked awesome.
Thank you.
It made the game look really good too.
Yeah. And so we did this whole thing. And then after the event was over, the executives came down to me and they were like, hey, how did you do this? And why? And so I showed them the roadmap and they were like, no one would have thought to do that. We need you with us. And so immediately I got promoted to be an executive. And really, again, I didn't have much power in the room. I was just the observant guy. I just got to look around and be like, oh, that wall's cracked over there. I wonder why. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this person's not fun to work with. Like I just
This takes too much time to get done.
yeah, this is too
Circumvent that.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's sell this camera that's $100,000 and
No one uses.
Yeah.
and no one uses. Yeah, we have 7 of them. That's weird.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what my role was towards the end, and by the end we were trending pretty high. We were like starting to, really make the numbers work, and
Yeah.
we had started the G4 MCN for YouTubers, which on paper sounds bad for anyone who knows what an MCN is, but the nice thing was that we had all of this corporate money from gigantic sponsors like Dr.
Right.
Pepper, Pizza Hut, Snapple.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Almond PC.
it's a multi-channel network for people who don't know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
manage
yeah, yeah.
other channels.
Maker Studios,
Yeah.
Right,
Defy.
yeah.
You've heard of those because they're no longer around, right? But yeah, the G4 had the opposite problem where they had all this money that they had to spend in their advertising from the MCN, and they didn't have enough views. So they get these big money deals from Pizza Hut, and they'd say, "Hey, we need X amount of views."
You got to go find the
Yeah.
influencers or the content creators, because you started
Yeah.
using people that I was like Susie, the Sphere Hunter.
Oh yeah.
And I loved all the content that they were putting out before, and then they got brought on to G4, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, perfect fit!
Yeah.
This is great."
I called Susie and said, "Hey, come do this Resident Evil
Fantastic
video."
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
I mean, perfect pairing.
that was low key her audition, that because by the time, like the week before G4 closed down,
Right.
I was the only remaining host on XPlay because Adam walked away.
He did. Okay.
Yeah.
Corey's contract did not get renewed, and Frost got let go. So it was just me on XPlay
man.
for almost a month.
Like,
How did that feel?
Awful, because it looked like I was the draconianest one who fired everyone.
Yeah.
Being the executive, I'm like the one guy standing.
Finally, it's all mine.
And then I was asked to like replace my friends, right? Like go find new people. And but we had a great lineup of folks, and Susie was one of the folks that
Yeah.
was like, we should audition her, and that the RE4 video we did with her was kind of like her soft audition.
Cool.
To get her in the door. And that was kind of what we were trying to do, right? It was like, XPlay is going to have to change again. So
Yeah.
where do we start and how do we grow it?
Yeah. But I do want to focus in on, I did bring up earlier that sometimes it felt like you were going through the ringer on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I'm trying to, this was, I think, PAX East last year. Again, me and Johnny went to, you guys did a panel there.
Yeah, you guys came to it.
Yeah, and we really enjoyed it. But at one point, I think you talked about your schedule there, or like between like running your own company and doing G4. That you said it, and I think me and Johnny were both like, he had to have misspoken, right? Like what was like your hourly schedule? Can you let everyone know what
Repeat
your
that.
It was rough.
Yeah.
So I, like you guys, have my own studio space with my own employees and crew.
Cool, yeah.
And one of the big reasons why I took G4 was because they were going to pay me a ton of money to not make as much content. So obviously, I've been completing a game a week every week for 11 years at that point. Oh my
gosh.
And it was killing me.
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
still
yeah.
is to this day. But I had to kind of factor in, if I do less YouTube stuff, still make the show and other show adjacent type stuff, but don't put my heart and soul into it as much. I'll still complete the games when I can, and produce the show, but like rely on my team to like edit and call production shots. And so I basically disappeared from my company, and I worked for G4, and I'd get up at like 6 a.m., drive 90 minutes north through traffic to get to the studio, do a COVID test, wait, and then
God, I
work there
forgot about
from
that.
basically 9:30 in the morning till like 6 or 7 in the evening, drive home, get home at like 8:30, go to my studio, have meetings with my team, check all the content, make sure we're good to go, be done by like 11 o'clock, go home to my actual home, spend some time with my girlfriend, and then when she'd fall asleep, I would start completing games, knowing that I had to get videos done on the channel. And I would do that every day till like 3 or 4 in the morning. So I was getting like 2 to 4 hours of sleep a day.
7 days a week.
Where were you?
5 days a week.
Where were
days a
you?
week.
How are you getting enough sleep to survive?
how
I
are
wasn't.
you doing this?
I wasn't.
Yeah,
Were you,
I was gonna
were you
say.
napping during?
No,
like-
and you could see, you could see that, my health and weight, I just started expanding more and more because I was like energy drinks and fast food, and
Yeah.
like I had to stay up and had to
man.
stay wired. And so,
but even mentally, that had to just be a drag.
Yeah.
well, and it was not only was it a drag, but I think that's where my frustration, I was getting pissed off, came into play because I was like, I'm putting in all of my being into this damn thing, and running into these weird problems and not having good solutions, and The only people who had my back was my team.
Yeah.
And they were experiencing the exact same fatigue that I was.
Yeah.
And so, that's where a lot of like the executive stuff came into play, where I was like, look, we have proof in the pudding that what we're doing has good merit and has legs, and we're working our asses off. Just give us some time to figure it out. And that's where I made my TV show, God of Work. And I'm so glad how that turned out. But making that show was a struggle. That was it was pulling teeth. No one wanted us to make this TV show.
Oh,
It was like a scripted comedy show.
Yeah, it was like it's called God of Work. It's a show where basically video game characters are treated like actors, and so they have to go to a temp agency in between their gigs.
Okay.
So like the Mario Brothers, when they're not making a Mario game, go work at this agency, and they're plumbers, so they're the custodians of this office.
Take on some part-time jobs.
Exactly.
In between gigs.
And so I played Kratos from God of
I've
War.
I've seen the great makeup and costuming.
Yeah,
that you guys did.
I shaved my. So when you came to my panel, I shaved my head after that panel.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think you said you were about to do that.
Did you like having a shaved head?
I did actually.
Oh, really?
I didn't like the look, but I loved the feel.
Oh, yeah.
It felt nice to just
be able to just run your hands through
and
there's
just
nothing.
and it's all and you
I've done it
water
once.
through it.
Long time ago.
Really?
Oh yeah, you don't say.
Oh, dude.
Before the dreads.
Yeah.
We're trying to get him to do it again.
But I'm scared. Like when you shaved your head for that, I'm thinking like sometimes it don't grow back the same way.
Oh,
That's what I would be scared of.
So
and I would
terrified.
be I would be terrified. Like I'm gonna shave my head and it's not coming back.
Oh yeah. I definitely realized how gray I was underneath here.
Really?
I was very gray. Like you can't see on the camera all that well, but you can. I
Silver
dye my
fox
hair
in there.
now, so I'm a silver fox kind of guy.
Oh,
but it was definitely that was the sad part. Is I shaved and I was like, oh, my hair's not black anymore.
no.
It's white. And
So
silver.
something changed.
Yeah, something did change.
well, yeah, you're working at 80 jobs, sleeping 2 hours. No wonder you go gray in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that'll
Jeez.
contribute.
Yeah, that'll do something.
Sean,
Man.
Yeah.
man in the window. Do you have a question?
No, I'm just really interested. This is we kind of watched from afar over here, and we
Yeah.
honestly, when we found out you were involved, we wished you well because,
Yeah.
we love you, and it was just good to see that you were succeeding so well, and so when G4 comes back, because they will. I mean, that's
Well,
G4
third
is
round.
going to keep coming back every
10 years.
Yeah. I know. Hopefully, you'll be involved then too if you want to be. That's the thing.
Yeah, because
I mean, the first thing I said when I got there is, "Why aren't you working with the Mega64 guys?" That was the first thing I said.
and everyone went blue.
Well,
who is that?
Well, it's funny because I think when I got promoted, I think I ran into you guys at Comic-Con.
Yeah, you did.
At your booth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
someone mentioned that. I don't think I was there, but I remember after people were like, "Hey, I think Jirard might be."
Yeah, I came by and I think one of my verticals that I was responsible for was giving content creators shows on G4, and so I had a budget for you guys where I was going to come to you and go, "Here's a bunch of money.
Oh my
make
gosh.
whatever you guys want.
What
and
a
we'll put it on
dream.
G4."
What
And-
happened?
All right, we're gonna
Everything
get it
else.
going.
Okay,
We're gonna resurrect it.
Well,
today. We're doing it.
I feel like we're here in San Diego, so sometimes I think people just forget that people exist in San Diego.
Or outside of the greater Los Angeles area. in
Right.
general.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, one of our hosts, Austin Show, he lived in Portland, and he flew out every week.
Oh, I didn't realize
He
that.
flew
Oh
out
my gosh.
every week to do his shows.
Yeah.
And it was all on G4's dime. So
Oh my gosh.
money.
Yeah.
well, we can certainly make the 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Next
had
time when they come back, you can give us the bunch of money, and we'll happily make
Yes.
something for you.
We've had
Yeah.
so many close calls with getting a show or getting a movie or something. I feel like every time it gets a little bit closer, and then we realize like, oh, there's another door that could be slammed in our face.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing this whole experience has taught me is that even with like a robust career that I've had, and same with you guys, what's with people not giving us a chance? I don't understand. Like,
Have we not proven
yeah,
ourselves?
we've got the number, we've got the data.
We're not going away.
Yeah, we've got the audience. Like, it makes so much sense.
It's like none of that stuff matters. It really is just like, yeah, but are you good friends with this guy who could hook it up for you? Like, well, I guess I need to be. It really is like who you know. It's such like a personal, like they just have to like you and they just have to like get to know you.
Yeah.
And just like get comfortable with you. And it's like, I can see your numbers, but then they're like, yeah, but you might still be a freak. Like,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
There, I don't want to name names, but there were definitely some folks behind the scenes that were like, "Oh, it's great to work with them." And they showed up, and oh, it's not great to work with them. This was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, artists can have different personalities. They vary. It's a wide
yeah.
spectrum. The creative person, the creative mind is a wide spectrum.
Let's kind of go down the list. Who was it that, made you feel that way? Like, you got them on. It's
Dish
just
the
like,
dirt.
oh man, terrible. Or rank them like the Super Nintendo games. It'll be fun.
comment.
It'll be fun.
So you're like friends with a bunch of professional wrestlers. How did this?
Yeah, this is very
Why
interesting.
do you know
Yeah, and
so
how
many
did-
professional wrestlers?
Yeah, and how do we get in on that? Go ahead.
I mean, those guys probably know who you guys are.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Those guys, not even a brand name, just those guys.
Well, it all started with Xavier Woods, Austin
Yeah.
Creed.
Yeah.
We had mutual friends because at the time there was Hot Pepper Gaming.
Right.
Yeah,
run
that's
by
right.
run
Wow.
by Vernon and those guys.
Yeah.
And Jared. And so I had done a whole bunch of them. And at the time, Vernon worked at Game Grumps. And so they shot Hot Pepper Gaming at Game Grumps. And Creed, this was back in like 2015, Creed was exploding with the New Day. And they were just all over the place.
Yeah.
He was starting up, down, down. And he was all like, hey, I have to do as much as I can to like grow the up, down brand and really make it feel like it's important to the wrestling audience. And so he reaches out to Vernon. They get him on Hot Pepper Gaming, and he destroyed everyone's record. Like he reviewed 3 games
Yeah.
in one video and ate like 3 Carolina Reapers. Like it was
Oh my god!
like it was like a habanero. I don't remember exactly, but it was a bunch of hot peppers.
Yeah.
And he was doing them on the fly. Like he didn't tell anyone he was going to do it. And so I saw this video. I was like, holy crap. And I grew up a huge wrestling fan, but I left around the tail end of Ruthless Aggression / PG era. So I missed a lot of those dudes. And so I was like, holy crap, this guy's he's making all of us look bad. He's so good at eating hot food. And so then I went down the rabbit hole. I saw that like he was on TV, like talking about his convention schedule, like during promos.
Yeah.
He was like, guys, we're going to be at PAX East doing all these panels. He's playing on his 3DS. And I'm like, this guy is just promoting his stuff on wrestling television and no one knows. And so I immediately became obsessed with the New Day. And that's what got me back in professional wrestling.
Okay.
And so I started just being that a-hole online that was like tweeting at him, hey, it'd be fun to hang out, bro. Just saying, like, we were in the same circles, just saying. And I think for a while, Creed was just like, yeah, all right, kid. Like, yeah, sure, no problem.
You like video games too. I get it.
Yeah. But eventually, like, our friend circles they collided. They had to at some point.
Cool.
And we finally met, and we had a great time hanging out at the IGM party at E3. And immediately we were fast friends. We just got to know each other really well. And because we had the same con schedule from PAXs and whatnot, we always end up at the airport together at the same time. And so we just end up hanging out and having some drinks and stuff. And immediately, he's just the nicest guy on planet Earth, Austin Creed, just the coolest guy ever. And he just wants everyone to succeed. He's like the non-wrestler. He doesn't think he's famous. He's not about like being better than everyone else. It's not about being a champion. It's about elevating everyone around him. I learned so much just from that when we would hang out, I would constantly go, what can I do for Up, Down, Down? What can I do to help you guys and grow your brand? And he did the same for me. And so during the pandemic, we had finally planned to get together to shoot a bunch of content. And it was like the week after or the week before they announced the shutdown. Oh my God. So we shot all this stuff and we released it all eventually. And then it was like, what do we do, right? What are we all going to do at home?
Right.
And so he was like, oh, I'm going to start playing Among Us with all my friends. And you guys know how it was, right?
Yeah.
Like you would call all your friends and family, whoever wanted to play, to get on a call.
Yeah.
And he started streaming it when he could, and he wanted to have full lobbies. And so his lobbies were like 7 to 8 wrestlers, and then like one YouTuber or one content creator.
Yeah.
And I never once thought about that. I just was like, oh, Creed wants to play Among Us? Hell yeah, I'm down. Sure, no problem. So I get on the call to do it, and it's like, I'm in calls with like Zelina Vega and like Adam Cole and Cesaro and all these wrestlers.
You're like, oh, I didn't expect. Okay.
Well, it's funny because their personalities online, and they all have different names for for the sake of online presences.
Sure,
so like,
sure.
you know, Cesaro is Swiss and Adam Cole is Chugs. And so I don't know their nicknames.
Yeah,
I just know what they look like and sound like. And so we played Among Us for like 3 or 4 hours and everyone had a good time. It just was us hanging out and in us playing that, almost all the wrestlers like DM'd me on Twitter and they were like, hey man, it was great to meet you and hang out. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I click on their profile and I'm like, oh shit, that's Adam Cole. Like
Blue
that's
check.
blue check. And I'm like, oh my
yeah.
God, that's the current NXT champion.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Zelina Vega, with Andrade at the time, like these are like massive superstars in the wrestling world.
yeah.
And they just like wanted to play Among Us with me. And so I started following them and we exchanged phone numbers and Twitter DMs. And like suddenly I'm just talking to them all the time. Just like, hey, how's it going? Great job on Raw this week. This was really
That's
great.
awesome.
And that's just kind of how naturally this kind of friendship kind of spawned. And Adam Cole's the best. That dude is just the kindest,
For real?
sweetest
That's
guy
good to
on
hear.
planet Earth. He's so nice. And it's so weird because you're friends with these guys and you're close. You're getting close with them, and then you see like wrestling Twitter and you see wrestling Reddit and you see how the world perceives them. And it's kind of heartbreaking. You feel like you're on their team because you see all the negative things that are being said about them that are clearly not true, but everyone has to get their 15 seconds in.
And like I said earlier, sometimes hating something is the fan experience.
Yeah, it's the
The
entertainment.
only joy you get is critiquing it and being, well, they did this wrong and they did this wrong.
yeah. Especially for wrestlers. It's like,
Especially for
If
wrestling.
you're a heel on TV every weekend or whatever, it's going to generate some heat on the internet
Well,
too.
even if you're not a heel, I think people forget that wrestling, they're like, oh, yeah, wrestlers. But it's like, well, these are like some of the most successful television shows, longest running TV shows in history. And these guys are like TV stars in a way. They were like major celebrities. But you would never watch, Arrested Development or some other just conventional TV show and then rip apart like the performance of the actor.
Larry David.
I'd be like, if I was telling that joke, I'd hit the punchline way harder.
Jason Bateman's not funny. Why is he the main character?
For whatever reason, like you just forget that when you're watching wrestling.
Yeah.
You just critique it as if you could be one. So
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's wild.
and they physically put themselves on the line each and every week. They could beat the crap out of all of us. And we're sitting here being like, man, you can't wrestle? Like, no, but you can kill me.
that backflip looked like shit. It's like, you show us your backflip, sir. So wow, do you ever still, get like, is it surreal?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Cody Rhodes, I'm still pissed about WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
You were there,
Yeah, you
right?
were there. Yeah.
I was there. I was there for the whole weekend.
Wow.
I was witness to Johnny. I think he was looking at your Instagram story or something.
Yeah.
Where he saw where you were sitting and son of a bitch.
Where were you
I
sitting?
may be
Well,
paraphrasing.
so my WrestleMania tickets they were on the floor, so they're pretty nice, but
Yeah.
they were far enough away from the ring that like, and I don't know why,
It kind
but
of sucks being on the floor.
Yes.
If you're not like in the first 3 rows.
Correct.
You can't see shit.
really?
correct.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Every time a live spot happens where someone flips or tumbles or makes an entrance,
They're standing.
rows are standing and you're like, well, I'm short, so I guess I'll stand up. And you can't stand on the chair, so you're like, I guess I'll look around and
Looking between shoulders.
and and then
hadn't
some
considered
people
that.
bring their kids, so they put the kids on their shoulders even more. So now I really can't see what's happening.
We gotta stop bringing kids and stuff, dude. I'm telling you.
They ruin everything.
Well, that's a separate. We'll talk about it later. But it's
or
getting
put a
ridiculous.
kids section.
It's getting
Just
ridiculous.
Let them have
kids table.
The kids table.
The kids ring. Whatever.
Yes, the kids
Whatever.
ring. Yeah.
Anyways.
So-
Powerbomb through the kids' table.
Yeah. Exactly.
So for WrestleMania, because of Creed, all of us at G4 before it shut down, we were given like pre-order codes for seats. So we got to buy our seats before most everyone else
Okay.
did. But the problem is, a lot of the seats you were not allowed to buy the 2-day.
Single seat.
You had to buy single seats. So if I wanted to sit in the front row, I had to pay thousands of dollars for one night for one seat. And so I had to buy the combo packs. And so that put us like basically I was on the right side of the ramp in the very far back.
Okay.
So anytime anyone came out, I was like, oh, I could see the pyro. And
That's cool.
Like
Yeah.
when Dominic Mysterio came out and he was handcuffed and they like pulled him out in the cop car.
Yeah.
He like opened the doors and you can see me going like, ah, like because he's like right next to me. But yeah, that's where our WrestleMania tickets were. But I had front row tickets to Friday Night SmackDown the night before WrestleMania, and that was a complete mistake. Like I should not have had those tickets. I think a celebrity was supposed to be in those seats, and they didn't show, and so I happened to be at SmackDown in a friend's box, and my contact messaged me and was like, "Hey, you want tickets to SmackDown?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? How good are these tickets?" Freaking front row.
Oh my God.
You saw this for like
So
4 hours.
you were already in the arena.
Yeah.
And you got a text message and you're like, "Hey guys, I'm leaving this box."
Yeah. I asked my friends, like, does anyone want to come with me?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no, we're good with the box. And I'm like, okay. And so I went down and I called my friend who lived nearby and I was like, hey, I have one more ticket next to me here. He was like, I'm there in 5 minutes. He
awesome.
showed up and
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, anyways, I'm sorry, my story. Cody Rhodes.
Right.
I've been a huge fan of Cody Rhodes for years.
You all right?
My mic died, so I'm trying to fix it.
Oh, no.
without noticing. Sorry.
Oh,
No, you're
I'm
good.
trying to be really coy with it. Sorry. Keep going.
No, you're good.
that's good. We did that on purpose.
So Cody Rhodes, I've been a fan of his for a long time. I love his work in AEW, and he messaged me on Twitter many years ago out of the blue, and was like, "Hey man, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of your work." And I was like, "I'm a huge fan of your work. You're freaking Cody Rhodes. Like you're legendary.
Yeah.
What did I do?" He's like,
Stardust, man. I mean,
hey, Stardust was fun.
I loved it.
I loved it. I can get behind Stardust.
Totally.
Was fun.
100%.
Actually, I couldn't get behind it knowing it probably hurt him.
Probably,
But-
but that was the time where I was getting into it,
Yeah.
and seeing the two brothers perform together.
That
I
was really
fucking
cool.
I was there for it.
Yeah,
So that was my first.
That made sense to me for sure.
My
Yeah.
first character for Cody was the Stardust character, and
yeah.
how goofy it was, and him
Yeah.
acting like his brother. I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved Rather Dashing.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes, and I also loved the Bullet Club stuff that he was doing
Yeah.
outside. But yeah, he messaged me and just was like asking for advice on like gaming setups and home theater setups, and so
Whoa.
I was
Wow.
giving him my advice here and there of things, oh, you should do this, you should do that.
Yeah.
And then every now and then in my content, I'll throw in a wrestling joke or a reference because I know him and Cole and some others watch my stuff, and he'll send me a DM or a message like, "Hey, dude, thanks for that. It was really funny. Made me laugh. Like, I
nice.
appreciate that." Wow. So at SmackDown, he didn't know I was going to be there, and so he came by right before the Hall of Fame started, and he like marked out on me, and I marked out on him, and there's no footage of it anywhere.
It's like, it's you.
Yeah,
It's
we
you.
both were like, "Oh my god! Like
That's
we're
cool.
finally meeting in person." He's just the nicest guy. I'm
Man.
not to spoil WrestleMania, but it was a rough one.
Yeah.
knowing what kind of came from it. So
Well, everybody out there's had a chance to watch.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have any plans to attend any live wrestling in the future coming up?
Oh man, I would love to.
But no plans.
No
Do you ever go to
plans.
indie shows at all?
No, I wish I did.
You're just
know-
too busy.
I'm too busy.
2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
Well, I've got more time back now that G4 is gone. But
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God. Thank God.
thank God. I was one of my producers at G4 is friends with some of the guys up in Burbank that run a promotion. I forget what it's called, but they do like these really weird wrestling themed nights where they'll be like, "All right, everyone, this event is Matrix themed."
Oh,
So
okay.
everyone
Hell
comes
yeah.
everyone comes out dressed in the Matrix. The
Yeah.
audience is dressed up in Matrix gear.
Ooh.
And sometimes
Yeah.
they had like a kaiju month where everyone came out
Oh.
dressed in like gigantic
That's
inflatable
interesting.
kaiju
Okay,
type
yeah,
stuff.
This sounds
Nice.
great.
Yeah,
This sounds
it's like
great.
a monthly, weekly wrestling themed thing.
Yeah,
I think it's
very
it's called Wrestling Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
That's what it's called, I
All
believe.
right.
And they do this promotion all the time, and it's if you're in the Burbank Glendale area, I highly recommend you check it out. It's very
Wrestling
fun.
Pro Wrestling. We'll check that
Yeah.
out. We're
Yeah.
going to be attending some combat soon next week. We're going to be doing a live
yes.
show in Tampa the night before Creator Clash.
Yes.
We were talking before the podcast that you tried to get into Creator Clash, but they didn't want you to.
It's not that they didn't want me to.
They were
It's
scared
that-
of the power
No.
behind your punches.
No. I was talking to my boy Aaron Hansen, love the man. When Creator Clash 1 was kind of winding down, I said, "Hey, I would love to be in Creator Clash." He's like, "Oh, we'd love to have you." And I was like, "There's one person that I really would love to box." And I told him the person, and he goes, "Oh, we can't have you box them." And I said, "Oh, why not?" And he's like, "Because the beefs aren't real, and your beef with them is very real." And I said, "Yeah, that that makes sense. I probably shouldn't do that. So I stopped poking about being a part of it because there's not. I'm a pretty friendly guy. I'm friends with most people.
Yeah.
There's like one or two people on my list that I'm like, I'd love to knock their teeth in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you told me who, I was like, all right, no, I'll train too. Yeah, let's
Tag team it.
Let's get to work.
Yeah.
They had a couple people drop out for Creator Clash 1, and they came to us like, "Would you guys want to get in?"
no
on it?"
way.
We
And,
started throwing the ideas
I
around.
think it was
and-
like 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
so it's
dude.
like no time to train
Yeah.
at all. And I think, a couple of us were thinking, well, maybe it would have been good promotion for
Yeah.
us. And then after watching Creator Clash, I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Well, after speaking to the Super Mega guys too, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's how it went down.
Yeah, like
The
getting-
physical
getting
discomfort they
concussed.
were in.
I
was
don't
like,
know if
"Oh, I
I'm
don't know."
into CTE this stage
Yeah.
of my life. I'll
Well, there's a flight or fight aspect to it that you
Sure.
see
Yeah.
on their faces. Like that's what made me nervous watching it. I
Yeah.
just was like, oh no, that's like there's like boxing.
Yeah.
And then there's what happened to them, which was like going into a bit of like a panicked, shocked state.
The ferocity of Dad, our friend Nathan Barnett.
Oh, yeah.
It really, when I saw it play out, I went, oh, I should stop kind of challenging him
It
on
honestly
our podcast.
kind of reminded me of like schoolyard fights where, kind of like the whole class kind of eggs you on. Like, yo, this person says they want to fight you. You're like, what? Really? Me?
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to fight them after school. And then everybody's there like, yeah, fight. And you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Out my face.
Well, so let me ask you guys, if you had to do it, who on Team Mega 64 would go?
I think it was a toss up between me and Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, I was considering it, and I was putting actual like thought into like, could I do that?
Well, you got-
Would I want to do
You got
it?
the height and the weight. You definitely
Sure.
could do it.
But who would I want to? That's what I was kind of comparing myself to the first card, and it's like me and Dad have similar builds. We're probably I am not as trained as him at all.
Yeah.
He went hard.
Oh my god,
Nathan
yeah.
does nothing half-assed.
No.
That dude
Seriously.
goes balls to the wall.
Seriously.
We had him come out to game days as well one time. And
Yeah.
he was hilarious.
No, totally.
Yeah, he was great.
He excels at everything he does.
We were witness to him when he was a guest. So were we at the Screw Attack gaming convention a million
So
years ago.
were-
So good.
That's where I met you guys.
Oh, that's right. Of
That's where we
course.
met.
Duh.
Yeah, we had the
SGC.
same flight. And I was in the van with you guys.
Oh, that-
and I was so nervous to talk to you guys because I was massive fans.
Oh no.
And I think I said maybe like 10 words. I was like, I really like your guys' stuff.
That was such a fun con.
That was a fun.
Was that
con.
the one?
There, when he jumped off the balcony,
That's what I was going to bring
Oh
up.
my God.
He broke his ankle.
ankle, and then continued to do the whole panel. And
Yeah.
Then went to the hospital after.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So when you brought up him not half-assing anything, that's what immediately came to mind. The dude jumped high enough to break his bones, and then he
yeah.
continued the panel. Damn.
Did he flip or because I don't remember what happened, but did he jump off the balcony or?
So he was like dangling from it, right? And then
No, it was a high. Like, you don't hear me.
Oh,
Come on
Sean's
over
mic.
here.
Sean's
Oh, it
mic
broke
is
or something?
is died. Here you
I'm
go.
trying to fix it behind the scenes. I can't fix it.
Have a seat.
Yeah, join us.
He jumped off this high balcony, landed so weird, and then went ow, and then just kept like as if no, and just did
as
it,
if nothing happened. Yeah.
and then like continued to dance and do everything
Yeah.
else normal, and then like after it was over, he just like hobbled away and then wasn't seen again because he went to the hospital. I think it was fucking
Yeah.
so intense. It was wild. Good jump though. It was. It was okay, Garrett, I'll leave you alone.
That was a fun con. I will say
what a thrill.
that I can't. There hasn't been any other con since where I've been up at till 4 a.m. watching someone trying to beat Mike Tyson in
That's
Punch-Out.
right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, oh, it's like
think-
daylight out now.
I think
Okay,
you guys also did a dumb bit. You guys didn't know me at all, but in your guys' promo video, you were like, "We're gonna kill Jirard the Completionist."
Oh yeah.
And I was
executed on site.
That
Yeah.
was so funny. I was
we
so
had to,
stoked.
we were in a video game competition against those guys, and we were promoting it, saying if we win, we're gonna murder everybody on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because everyone responded to that video and what was happening differently. Like you were always very gracious, and we of course got to know you over time. I think Brental Floss was annoyed because our fans kept showing up to his stuff just like, you're going down. And he's like, I'm not even involved in this. Why did they mention me in the video? So I think he was kind of like annoyed, but we eventually reached out to him, and he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But I think Peanut Butter Gamer. I think we made the threat that like, hey, if we win, like he can't make a YouTube video for 1 year.
Yeah.
And I think he was the only person that never even once acknowledged the existence of just like, I think people asked him about it. And he's just like, I don't know what that is. All right. Anyway, I don't think we ever have spoken to him or anything. So, I'm curious if he held to our demand. He didn't.
You know what? Knowing his upload
that year
schedule,
off.
I think he actually did take that year.
Oh,
off.
okay. All right.
I'm a friend of his, so I can say that.
Oh, okay, yeah. We never knew him personally. I actually haven't seen his stuff, but I saw him listed probably on the guest list or something.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
like, all right, throw this guy in. He didn't ask for it.
This is actually we're in a collective called Normal Boots. This
of
is our
course,
logo,
yeah.
and that's how I know him. I've known him for
Okay,
years.
that's cool.
But
There you go.
I guarantee you, he probably laughed. It was like, oh, that's so cool. And then
I
never
wasn't
talked
sure
about
if it was like, yo, stop bringing me up.
No, Austin's a good dude. He
That's cool.
he laughed at it for sure.
That's cool. Well, there you go. We gave you a year off. We were trying to help. We have a year to chill. It would be fun.
So you guys passed on Creator Clash,
We're not competing.
It was more. Yeah.
We will be attending this year.
Yeah. We're attending. We're attending this time, and like you said, during doing our show the night before. So we're basically the warm up for Creator Clash.
Sure,
nice.
And our show's going to be so violent, it's going to make the main show just look tame.
Yeah, you guys are going to murder someone
live on
probably.
stage.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's the Mega 64 way.
In Tampa, that's how that's how you get any venue.
Yeah.
You got to get the people excited for something.
Exactly.
Carnage before carnage.
I'm smoking Flocka on the sidewalk right before we go in the venue. It's just floored all the way.
Yeah.
I'm
We
getting in
should-
character.
Get some Delta 8 going.
Yeah, why not? On that note, we should say, actually, we do want to plug that if there are some tickets available, if you're coming to Tampa, Florida, and you're going to be there Friday, April 14th, come to our live show. We're going to be playing Club Sky, and we got a whole new show ready to go. You don't want to miss it. Mega64.com/tour is where you can find the tickets, and there's a few left, so get on it if you want to see us there.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been going for quite a while here.
Yes.
So we might just wrap it up in a second. But Jirard, what are you moving on to next? What's in the future for you?
Oh man. Obviously still completing games as I do. That's the name. But the big thing I'm working on is I'm producing video games. I'm getting into producing video games. I want to create a producer/publishing arm that allows content creators to pair up with indie devs
Interesting.
to make games.
wow.
Because the way I see it is, when you guys get these all the time, right? Those like random PR emails that are like, "Hi, Mega, we love your work. We love the Tetris video from a long time ago. Do you want to code for our game?" There's a lot of PR companies that get paid a bunch of money to just like send out blanket emails to get influencers to show up and do stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what if the influencers were a part of the production process of the game, hand in hand with the developer, and could market the game and get their friends to play the game too? Because obviously, a rising tide raises all ships. So that's kind of what my super goal is. And I'm kind of trying to prove the format right now. So I'm producing 3 games. A game is called Elsie, which is like a Mega Man X roguelike, similar to 20XX or 30XX if you guys have played that.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
There's a game called Renane, which is like a hack and slash. You're like a little knight that kind of runs around. It has a sidekick character called Chompy. It's like a little Chow Garden type of guy that's fun and chaotic. And the last game I'm producing is called Gestalt Steam and Cinder, which is basically Castlevania steampunk. Very like a steampunk Castlevania game. And I'm producing those 3 games. They're all coming out within the next 18 months. And I'm hoping to have like proved the model so I can, go to my fellow content friends and go, hey, is there an indie game that you like to partner with? Or is there a game that you want to make? Let's go find some funding and work together to kind of team up as a powerhouse to market these games.
So
wow.
you were at PAX East showcasing some of these games?
Yeah.
I do remember seeing a few of those.
Yeah, Elsie
on
and
the show floor,
Elsie and Renee, and I had 2 booths that I was running back and forth between as much as I
Appointments
could.
all day?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
But it was really cool just to like, people were excited to meet me, obviously, but then to sit down and be like, and now I get to demo the game with you.
Here's the controller.
Yeah,
that's cool.
take it away. Yeah.
And that's why you're here today, because we are going to announce Open World Dracula is real. We're doing it. So thanks for
Nope,
we
nope.
didn't talk to you ahead of time.
No,
but
no.
It's when you see the plans,
Yeah.
sure, it's a done
Yeah,
deal.
you'll buy it.
It's a done deal.
I'm assuming I have to say yes because there's a camera and a mic.
Dude,
So-
You'll buy it.
yeah. Oh,
That's
even
how we
if-
got you.
Even if
Yeah.
this wasn't here,
Snared you in our
when
trap.
you see
Yeah.
open world Drac, when you're like, oh, so he can invite anyone?
Yeah.
You'll pay. You'll pay
Sure.
the money.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that
So.
pans out.
All right. Well, everyone, there it is. E3 came a little early, didn't it? It's bad. Oh,
What's
you thought
left of
E3
it?
was dead?
Yeah.
It's not. No. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. And yeah, I saw you talking about that at PAX East, and it's cool to see you in this kind of new frontier. And you're always doing something cool. Again, you're one of the guys that's been there a long time on YouTube, but you've always seen beyond just the limited scope of what YouTube can be. You've always had kind of a bigger vision of everything. I think that's really
not to
cool.
blow smoke up your guys' ass, but you guys kind of started the model. Like you guys, honestly, when I started, a lot of my stuff was I'd look at your guys' model and I go, they do their own merch. They have their own website. They have their own community. Like you guys were the blueprint to lead the way for so many of us. And so if no one gave you guys your flowers yet, fucking, they should buy you a flower shop.
Oh,
You guys
you.
kick ass and put in all the
Thanks.
work. And the fact that you're still here kicking ass still is fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, we
Yeah,
appreciate it.
We do
Definitely
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we appreciate you being on our podcast too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. Hopefully I wasn't too talkative or too commanding
that's
of the
what they're
conversation.
here.
Oh, you're
They're
the
here.
guest. We want to
We're
get
here
your
every
story.
week. Yeah, we want to hear you.
Well, thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Sean, did we leave anything out? Do you anything on your end?
This isn't. I just got this email, and this is years in the making. I'm not done with the first pitch. Don't get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got scared.
Cameo finally approved me.
Wow.
It happened just now.
You can do cameos.
I've been rejected. I've been rejected by them for years, and I finally got the approval.
Wow.
I've made it, guys. So my mic doesn't work. Doesn't even matter. I'm on cloud
So,
nine.
so everyone, you want Mr. Shawn Chatfield to wish you a happy birthday. $330 later,
Yeah,
you will get
it's-
your wish.
I'm whatever. What is Kim Kardashian charge? I'm gonna do that.
She's
that
on
price.
Cameo?
I don't know. Is she? I don't know.
I hope
know.
not.
No, Caitlyn Jenner is, and it's like
What-
2,500.
I'll be
much.
competitive with Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
pay.
cool.
I'd pay for you,
Thank you.
not Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Well, anyway, so I literally just got the email, so I'm very excited. Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm going to announce today. Actually, I have a big announcement too. Creator Clash 3. I'm going to be in it, and I'm fighting Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay.
There you go.
All
Let's
right.
go.
And I'm
Just kidding.
going to announce. Oh, I already announced Open World Dracula, so I already did my announcement.
Garrett, anything for you? Anything to announce?
Yeah, I mean, let's just say Hell in the Cell is right around the corner.
Oh,
I'm ready. I'm front row with that.
Vince curled his mustache up and made me a deal. I couldn't refuse.
There you have it. So we all got something in the works.
Yeah.
There you have it. Well, folks, thanks for watching the Mega64 podcast. This was a special presentation. We're not going to have an after show tonight. I did want to say thank you, though, for joining us. And like I just said 10 seconds ago, and this is your last weekend, by the way, to pick up our, if you're watching this live, the Unboxing Ring Blu-ray that is in our store. We kept that pre-order up for a little bit, and there's also a special bundle that comes with like a shirt and a signed poster and other exclusive stuff like that. So pick that up if you didn't get the chance before, because the door, that big garage door you see on the cover is about to close.
It's closing.
For good and then be bulldozed.
It's like that
So
scene in Titanic. You're
Yeah.
like the last guy out. Your legs are dangling. So hurry up. Don't get crushed.
Don't be the propeller guy where it's like, oh, I'm good. Nope. Bing. Did you see Titanic?
I have.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a perfect movie.
Perfect movie.
Check it out. Everyone, check it out. Blu-ray.
And we'll see you live in Tampa next week. So,
Yes.
very soon. Thank you for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Johnny, we got a special guest. Do a cool fade.
yeah, do a cool-
like an
cool
even
fade?
cooler fade than normal.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
There it was.
Cool.
What?